Joining us now, guy who had the most exciting play of Week 12, if not the entire season, Jevon Holland, Dolphins safety. Jevon, welcome. How are you, buddy?
I'm well. I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate some of your time. It really was one of those moments where, as it's unfolding, as someone watching the game, I couldn't believe it was happening. What is happening in your own mind, if anything? Because I know a lot of it just is instinct taking over. But from the moment that ball is coming down and you recognize there's a chance to catch it in lieu of knocking it down and then maybe do something with it, what were you thinking as it all unfolded?
As the ball was in the air, my only thought was like getting in the end zone. First, of course, was to catch it. But then I was like, okay, I need to get in the zone. Um, yeah, like you said, a lot of it was instinct. Now that I think back on it and I really try to reflect on what I was thinking throughout the process, a lot of it was just me reacting and running to open space.
How often do you guys practice defending a Hail Mary? And do you have the green light to intercept it if you believe the play is there to be made?
Every Friday, or actually, yeah, every Friday at the end of our walkthrough, we practice offensive Hail Mary first and then defensive Hail Mary. And no, I have the red light to return any Hail Marys. They want me to knock it down. They want me to knock it down 100%. But in that moment, I mean, it was the second quarter. I mean, going into into halftime, the score was close. I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do that, and I was like, might as well try it. So it turned out to fall on my side.
Well, it was brilliant because it changed everything. It changed the entire vibe going into half. It would have been 10-6 with two interceptions by your offense going into halftime, and it feels
Right.
like a brand new game. That was the dagger. It felt like it was over after that.
Anything I can do to help the team win, man, sign me up. So that just happened to be one of them, and I'm glad that I took that opportunity because it was great. I enjoyed it. I loved it, honestly. It was a blast.
Well, and we all loved watching it. Tell me this, was there a moment as you started to run where it went from, let's just see where this goes, to, oh boy, I got a chance here to take this all the way?
Yeah, when I cut back and it was just me and the quarterback one on one, I was like, okay, this could be my first touchdown of my career. So that right there, and I was excited at that point. When it was Tim Boyle and me, I was like, yeah, nah, there's no tackling me right here.
Where's the football?
It is right behind me, or you can't really see it, but it's behind this couch in the cluster bag of the other footballs. But I have a piece of tape on it, wrote 99 yards. And my dad just texted me yesterday and was like, make sure you write on it and sign it and make sure that you know it's that ball. So yeah.
Once you get a chance to come up with a plan for what you're going to do with it, do you have an idea of where it's going to permanently be?
Not right now. I've got all my turnovers kind of in a basket. I don't have a wall set up or anything right now, but when I do, I'm definitely gonna make sure I put that one in like a gold case as the Hail Mary, as the Jets fans want to call it.
What did you think about playing on Black Friday?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. I played on Thursday night before. Black Friday is like, one extra day to prepare. But I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it, honestly. Yeah.
When do you get your turkey? When you play the day after Thanksgiving?
I had my turkey on Wednesday. I just put it out there early, so when I come back, I don't gotta worry about hosting nobody or making no more dinner. It's just leftovers already in there waiting for me.
Is that a game you'd want to be involved in every year? I feel like some teams, at least from a management level, are putting the hand up saying we'd like to do this every year. As a player, is that something you'd want to do every year, or is one time enough?
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool every year, honestly. I mean, I wouldn't mind it too much. There wasn't too much stress on my body or anything like that, so I enjoyed it.
What's it been like having Hard Knocks around?
It's been cool, honestly, and they have been surprisingly like hidden almost. Like they don't really show the cameras in our face or anything like that. There's a lot of hidden cameras around, not hidden, but kind of tucked away so that they're not bothering us. But it's been cool. I've enjoyed it. And then the first episode was cool seeing how we kind of re how we took Max Crosby's game and his like extracurricular activity in between plays and added that to practice and how Tua responded to that. I thought that was really unique.
Is it a problem though to feel like, and your coach used this term, safe space? You've got your space, you've got your club, you've got the place where you can say what you want, do what you want, be who you want, and that's kind of been invaded. Does it change how you feel when you're around now, or do you just get used to it and it's like they're not even there?
Initially it did. Initially I was a little uncomfortable, but then after a while you kind of forget and you kind of just get back into your own groove. And then after that, you realize that that's what really Hard Knocks will really want to see. That's what the fans really want to see, you in your element and authentically yourself. So, after a while, you kind of just fall back into how you were before.
Are they are they recording any of this right now? Do you know? Are they
Not that
around?
I
If
know
they're
of, unless
hidden,
they,
if they're hidden, you don't know.
yeah, unless they came in here and installed some cameras when I was gone. But right now, nah, nothing.
Um, do you watch it? I know only one episode's been on. Second one's going to be on Tuesday night of this week. But do you have you watched the first episode?
Yeah, yeah, I watched the first episode. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Jaelan Phillips injury from last Friday. I'm trying to think of a way to take a good, fun conversation and segue to something that isn't very good for your team or very good for Jaelan Phillips. How does that impact your defense moving forward? Because he's a key part of it.
He definitely is. It's a tremendous impact. A lot of guys are going to have to step up. But the challenge is in front of us, and we're going to take it head on. It's tragic though. It really is. He's a workhorse, a hard worker, and great football player, better individual. So I know that he's going to return, 10 times as good as he was now from this injury. But it's tough. It was tough to see, especially like getting to him when he was on the ground. That was difficult, to be the one there and kind of see him in shock. So, but he's in better spirits, and he's on his way to recovery. So I'm happy for him, and I'm going to be there helping him along with Chubb and everybody else on the defense and team. We're going to be there right there supporting him.
Did he know what it was right away?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, you could see it. You could see it snap like a
Hmm.
rubber band. And we've seen that a couple of times this year. It happened with Kirk Cousins on grass. It happened with Jaelan on turf at MetLife Stadium after the game. Raheem Mostert came out and said they got to do something about this turf. Give me your opinion on the quality of the playing surface there at MetLife Stadium.
I don't know specifics, but I do know turf is tough on the body. And being at that place, I've had two of my friends now get injured from that. So I just think it needs to be done with, honestly. I think they need to really look into it and invest in, a better playing surface for their team and teams around the league.
I want to flesh this out a little bit with you too, because I hear this from players about how, regardless of injury rates and regardless of whatever numbers the NFL would put out there to create the impression there's a debate between turf and grass. Help me understand how different your body feels after playing a game on grass versus playing a game on artificial turf, whether it's MetLife Stadium or anywhere else.
Turf it's a hard surface. There's no give like grass. There's give, and it works with when you cut, you can feel your cleats sink into the ground. Turf it's like playing on it's not playing on asphalt, but it in some terms it is. It's tough on your joints and your knees and your ankles. And when you hit the ground, there's no shock absorption to the ground. There's none of that. But on grass, there is. When you fall on the ground, you can roll and you feel like the earth isn't so hard. And that's the biggest thing for me, honestly. I think that turf is just really tough on the joints, and it has a long lasting effect after practice, after games. Like those things start to add up. So playing on grass for me always feels better.
Before I forget, because sometimes I do, and we're appreciative of TCL of making you available to us today. That's why you're here. Tell us what you're doing with TCL and what they're calling the Ultimate Game Day Update campaign.
Ultimate Game Day Upgrade, TCL TV. So they've been doing this all year. They have some outlandish deal for a specific type of play during the game. I was the first one to hit it on the nose with the 90, not 100, 99-yard return. But they needed for my game 98-yard plus, and then they were going to give away $1 million worth of 98-inch TVs. I myself was one of the individuals that got one, and well, that is getting one. It's in the mail, and I think it's dope. But they're still doing it, and it's going to keep going on until the end of the year. But this upcoming Thursday, the Cowboys versus the Seahawks, they're giving out 50K in TVs if they score more than 50 points. I believe it's the two scores combined. Those are both high-flying offenses, so I'm sure that's going to be something that happens. But you can go to tcl.com/upgrade to enter in a chance to win. And if they score more than 50 points, you can potentially get a TV. So that's awesome.
and I misspoke. Ultimate Game Day Upgrade campaign.
Mhm.
Want to get that right, and it's a great opportunity for some people to get a 98-inch TV. Where the hell are you going to put a 98-inch TV? It's not something you just stick in the corner.
Nah, I got a wall. I got a wall just enough. It's like 84 inches wide. My wall is like 90 inches, so I got a little bit of room on both sides. I'm excited for it. My girlfriend's not too excited for it. She's a little bit against it, but when she sees it and she sees the movies on in the TV and whatnot, we're all good. It's gonna be good.
I have to ask you just a couple more real quick ones. First, what's been the chatter within the locker room about Tua having a chunk of flesh ripped out of his arm and not even seeming to notice it, and somehow he didn't bleed?
I'm gonna be honest, this is new information for me. I
Wow.
saw the
Wow.
Band-Aid on his arm. I didn't know it was a chunk. I was wondering why he was laying on the med table after the game, like blood, little sutures around him. But he's a he's tough as nails, man. He's tough as nails.
There was an image of him going to break in the first quarter of that game, and he's got the tattoo sleeve on his arm, and
Mhm.
I looked at it and I said, there's a chunk missing from his arm. I thought I was seeing things. And then later you see him, he's sitting there and he's completely unfazed by it. And he's got a hole in his arm before they patched it. So yeah, that's a very high tolerance to pain and complete disregard to your body to have a chunk of your arm missing and just,
Yeah.
keep on going. That's probably one of the misconceptions about Tua, because he seems like a nice guy, friendly, gets along, smiling. He seems like he's pretty damn tough.
He is. He's very tough. He's very tough. And that, I mean, it doesn't have to be necessarily a misconception. Like you can be nice and you can be friendly, but you can also be tough as nails. And you see that in Tua. You going out there with half of his tricep gone, like a shark bit it out. So he's just, he's a hard-nosed football player.
Let me ask you this, though, because that's how you have to play as a defensive player. You have to have that switch flip to go, go, go all the time, inflicting physical contact on others. And you have to get into a certain mindset to do it. How hard is it to flip that switch on and off when, it's time to not play a game, not be at practice, not be aggressive all the time and welcoming physical contact with someone else?
That's a great question. And it's difficult because turning it on back on is probably the hardest part. Because once you're in that mode of relaxation and calmness, then you kind of just get accustomed to that, and it's nice and it's comfortable. But turning that flipping that switch and going back in that dark place, it takes some times, it takes a real lot of talent to be able to do that. So it's difficult, it
What do you do?
it
You like go
really
on
is.
social media and look for people calling you bad names, or seriously, what do you do to
Nah,
get yourself
nah,
back there?
you just gotta find it, man. I can't really explain it. You just have to find that dark place, and that's where a lot of people go. That's where guys like Ray Lewis and James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, like Bob Sanders. That's where those type of individuals went to play. It's like you're going to war, when you step in those white lines. So you got to be mentally prepared for that.
I assume you're playing this game with the aspiration to be mentioned in that same list of players. What are you personally working on to do to have the kind of career where when someone down the road is talking to me about playing defense, your name gets thrown in there with Bob Sanders and Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed?
There are too many specific things to name, but I would say take advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves and be ready to react when. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. That's as best as I can explain it. Because when the opportunities are there, they present themselves. I want to be able to be ready. So, like I said, I don't have to get ready. I can just take advantage of them. And those are what those individuals did, especially Ed Reed, who is like the pinnacle for safeties. You know what I mean? Like every opportunity he could get on every phase, he was able to affect the game. So that's what I want to do.
Well, and you did it on Friday with the 99-yard interception return on a Hail Mary attempt with everyone watching, changing the flow of the game and guaranteeing the win for the Dolphins. Jevon, congratulations on that moment. We appreciate some of your time. All the best as the season continues forward.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.